The movie starts with our protagonist is Zoe Hull, a teenage girl who struggles with the death of her mother. In fact, she thinks she can still see her around and even has whole conversations with her. This has caused her to shut down emotionally and has put some strain on her relationship with her father, Todd, who is trying his best to connect with her through activities like teaching her to hunt. It is during one of these hunts that he passes on some important wisdom to her. She must always take care of unfinished business. The advice resonates with Zoe, so when her shot doesn't finish off a deer, she ends its suffering by hitting its head with a rock. After returning from their little hunting trip, Todd suggests they see a therapist again because Zoe is cutting herself off from everything she cares about. This comment angers Zoe, and they start arguing over it, which clearly isn't the first time. Luckily, they are interrupted by her best friend, Lewis Washington, who has come to pick her up in his car. On their way to school, they exchange insults with some bullies in another car, and they also notice their classmate Chris Jellick planting a strange device in the middle of an open field, but they think it is just a prank. At school, Lewis tries to ask Zoe to prom, but Zoe dislikes the idea. Lewis thinks Zoe is shutting down too, which irritates her the same way it did with her dad. She leaves for the bathroom after Lewis accidentally spills a drink on her, and finds Anna Jellick moving the ceiling panels. Anna leaves the bathroom in a rush, so Zoe takes the opportunity to check the panels but finds nothing behind them. Several incendiary devices are set off around town except for the one Cl4ps leaves at the school's front office. With so many fires burning at the same time, at school, a van suddenly crashes into the cafeteria, carrying two armed teenagers. The leader, Tristan Voy and Chris Jellick. They're soon joined by Anna Jellick and Cl4ps, who are also armed. After shooting various students, Tristan asks everyone to use their phones to tell their parents what is going on. Lewis calls his mom and leaves a message saying he doesn't have any regrets. Meanwhile, Zoe learns what is happening from a wounded girl who enters the bathroom and dies there. She escapes by crawling through the bathroom ceiling and falls into the school kitchen. When Chris comes to investigate the noises, the cook tries to confront him, but he shoots her. Zoe leaves the building through the back door after he is gone. After everyone is done talking to their parents, Tristan borrows a phone and calls the school's front office to inform them about the shooting. The rules state they need to confirm the information before they can initiate lockdown. So Tristan asks all the students to live stream with their phones and tells the video hosting companies not to interrupt the streams or he will have to shoot people. The principal tries to talk Tristan down by apologizing for not listening to him before, but Chris shoots him while allowing the guard to escape. Tristan asks everyone to turn off their recordings except for the one with the most viewers, which happens to be Lewis streaming on the school's social page. He is tasked with following Tristan around and recording everything. Outside, Zoe considers leaving but returns when she hears voices. She stops a group of students from entering the school and warns them of what is going on. They all leave except for Zoe's friend Cora, who agrees to help Zoe warn the other classes still inside. They break a window. This time, they are heard, and the whole class escapes through the window while Zoe activates the fire alarm. This proves to be useless because Anna goes into the electrical room to disable the alarm and cut off power. Right after the school's front office calls for lockdown, the homemade bomb Kip left there earlier explodes. The police finally arrive and Sheriff Tarsi starts closing the perimeter. The situation is finally making it to the news, although they are not showing the stream. Irritated, Tristan tells the phone camera that the public wants to see him, not some reporter. Meanwhile, Zoe searches the school to warn any remaining students to get out, but Anna finds her and starts shooting at her. Her leg is wounded before she manages to run away and hide in a room filled with balloons. The girls fight for the gun. Zoe overpowers Anna and shoots her. Tristan goes to the Spanish classroom to take those students with him to the cafeteria. The teacher tries to reason with him, but Tristan responds by making her take off her blouse. He is about to touch her inappropriately when Lewis interrupts him by saying he has some questions from the viewers, effectively taking Tristan's focus away from the teacher. Tristan explains that this plan took him 14 months to execute. A police officer visits Tristan's house to talk to his parents, only to find the mother dead, her neck cut open. Meanwhile, Zoe's dad hears the news about the shooting on the radio. In the cafeteria, Chris is in the middle of talking to the voices in his head when he hears on the news that the cops have arrived. So he goes to the hole in the wall and shoots at them. Tristan hears the gunshots and decides to return, taking the whole Spanish class with him. And when Kip walks in the opposite direction from the group, she decides to follow him. He is trying to get to another classroom filled with students, so Zoe appears in front of him to call his attention and get him to chase her. She takes him through a slippery floor, and after he falls, she unloads a fire extinguisher on his face and also hits him with it. Kip is dragged to the auditorium and handcuffed to a chair, where he confesses to Zoe that he is doing all this because of a bullying incident in middle school that, in his eyes, has never ended. After taking his shotgun, Zoe comes across another group of students with their teacher. Wanting to help them escape, she borrows a phone and calls Cora, who hands her phone to the sheriff so they can coordinate a plan. Sheriff Tarsi tells the reporters to record him instead of the school before calling Tristan's phone. He distracts him with conversation while Zoe safely guides as many groups of students as possible to the exit. However, her rescue appears on the news, allowing Tristan to discover the ruse. He hangs up on Tarsi and proceeds to call his teammates. Zoe has Anna's phone, so she answers his call. Tristan tells her to show herself, or he will start shooting people. He even kills a student as proof. After telling him she will be there, Zoe returns to the auditorium and frees Kip, who feels guilty for what he has done and wants to die, handing him back the shotgun. While Todd sneaks onto the school grounds and prepares his weapon to help his daughter, Zoe makes it to the cafeteria where Tristan starts asking her questions for the stream. A furious Chris wants to kill her because she shot his sister, but Tristan won't allow it. He believes everything must happen at the right moment. They are suddenly interrupted by Kip, who, after exchanging insults with Chris and Tristan, shoots his shotgun, only managing to hit Tristan on the shoulder before Chris kills him. Zoe and Louis take advantage of the distraction to escape while Chris goes after them. They hide in the Spanish classroom. Louis informs her of some explosives hidden in the van, so Zoe leaves the classroom to check on it, allowing Chris to find her and chase her again, starting a fire when Chris tries to come closer. Her attempt to escape does not work, however, because Chris still manages to catch her. When he is about to kill her, Todd shoots from his spot outside and kills him instead. The police approach him as soon as they hear the gunshot, and Zoe can do nothing but watch through the window as they arrest her father. Afterward, Zoe grabs Chris' gun and makes her way back to the cafeteria. She sends Tristan a picture of Chris' body. Instead, she hijacks the stream and tells Tristan that the world will remember her, not him, which enrages him. Tristan grabs one of the explosives from the van and gives it to a student he drags out of the cafeteria with him. Zoe sees them leave, so she takes the chance to go in and tell all the hostages to run now that Tristan's gone. There is still the issue of the bomb in the van, which Zoe resolves by putting the shift in reverse and jamming the gas pedal with Chris' rifle. This causes the van to move outside and explode in the parking lot. SWAT uses this opportunity to enter the building, and they mistakenly arrest Zoe while she is trying to find Tristan. An explosion coming from the next room reveals Tristan's body, and while the SWAT team takes care of it, Zoe sees her mother, who tells her she loves her and wishes her goodbye before disappearing for good as Zoe cries her heart out. Outside the school, Sheriff Tarsi frees Zoe, shakes her hand, apologizes for the incorrect arrest, and praises her actions. Zoe responds by asking him to allow her to see her father. Todd is inside a police car, handcuffed, but he still has a heartfelt talk with his daughter. They repair their relationship and reassure each other of how important they are in each other's lives. Zoe notices Tristan sneaking out of the school. He had faked his death by changing clothes with another student so cops would initially think the burned body was his. Zoe recovers Todd's rifle and follows Tristan into the woods where he is retrieving some money and a passport. Zoe does not hesitate to shoot him from afar. She recalls the advice about unfinished business her dad gave her while hunting and picks up a big rock to finish Tristan off. Yet when she brings it down, she does not hit his head. Zoe decides to leave him there to die because, unlike an animal, suffering is what he deserves. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.